see very well.
Well, you never see very well.
That's true, but when there's something on my
Your
glasses,
eyes don't work.
They don't. My eyes are ridiculous.
Did you already embiggen all this?
I did.
So you're at a.
Here, come here.
You can.
Can't
What?
see.
That's not what my jersey's for.
Sure. Oh, there we go. See, I can see now.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, everybody. So we got 100 people. Look at that.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of. Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, Melody Martin. She hasn't posted anything in a long time. I even looked at her Facebook and Twitter, and yeah, she hasn't posted anything in quite some time. I don't know what happened. Maybe she went to school.
Seeing Shifley and Hellebuck extended to 7 years each. That's one of those. Woohoo! Anyways, here from the sky between Regina and
Airdrie.
It's hard to tell those letters.
Airdrie, which is in Alberta.
Yes, I know.
Just outside Calgary.
I know, but see, when I look at it, I can see the A and the D, and then I have to try and guess the letters between them.
Good for you,
Finally
sweetie.
made it. Woo woo. And see,
Maple.
a lot of hello.
Maple.
Good evening. Thank you for helping the Shark fan get through the last few seasons.
Maple.
Oh, that's nice.
No problem.
Are you going to do SDP soon?
I haven't heard from them. So
You have to be invited. You don't just invite yourself onto other people's shows.
Fly into Toronto and go, hey,
Hey.
Steve, just flew here. You guys, you're not doing a show. Oh,
I'm
well,
here.
I guess I can go back to Vancouver. That was quick.
What do you see Lassie Thompson ceiling being?
Well, for Thompson, I mean, I think the Sens were the only team that put in a claim on him. So at this point with Thompson, his ceiling is probably as a depth defenseman, a number 6, number 7 in the NHL. But not looking like he's likely to get that. You're not attacking there.
A serious question. What flavor is Yvonne's tea? I have a toy.
Sit up here.
My tea right here.
Come on up here. Come on.
It's from David's Tea. It's called Fright Nights. It's a Halloween tea. I thought that was fitting. It's a coconut tea. It smells really good. I haven't drank it yet. It's still too hot. It smells really good. Predictions for Newhook and Doc this season.
Doc should be in the 60-point range. I would say Newhook, if he's playing on the second line, 45, 50 points should be reachable for him.
Could the Canadians sneak into a playoff spot if they stay healthy?
I don't see. The defense is young. It's a good defense, but it's young. The goaltending, I don't know that can keep them in the hunt throughout the season.
Where will the Penguins end up this season?
So in the video I did just yesterday on the standings, it was yesterday or the day before. They're one of those bubble teams. They could be in, they could be out. A lot of it could depend on how well Carlson complements the rest of that roster, and if he can get their power play up towards the top of the league. They could surprise some people, but I have them as a bubble team, one of the ones that may or may not make it.
Are you doing power rankings today?
That's the plan.
That's
definitely the plan.
Earlier.
I was going through all my pucks, and so I've changed out the sets of pucks that I have in here. I got a couple new ones over the summer, so looking forward to debuting those so people can say, I can't see those. Generally how it works.
Oh, I got these really cool new pucks.
Yeah, spent a couple $100 on these pucks, and never mind. All right.
thought they were cool.
I thought they were nice.
How was the turkey? Delicious.
It's not as dry as I liked it. I think you should have dried out your turkey. You cook it for it's 8 hours.
No, you don't cook turkey for 8 hours. It was great. I thought my turkey was fantastic. I really like turkey.
It was good.
I like how I make turkey.
It was good.
I thought it was good.
You need an electric knife, though. That's insane. I didn't even realize you didn't have an electric knife till today. I was like,
my mom brought me an electric knife, but I didn't use it on the turkey because I've never used one before, and I didn't want the first time I've used an electric knife
even
to be
on
our Thanksgiving turkey.
Usually for roasts, usually roast beef. My mom would get a roast, and then
I'll try it next time I make a roast, but I didn't want to test drive an electric knife.
Turkey, it can be messy if you're not going with the grain. It can be messy.
Right. Hello from Windsor,
girl.
Ontario. Do you think
Good kitty.
Fraser
Minton?
Minton will stay in the Leafs all year?
I don't know about all year. He's starting the season on the roster on that fourth line. I would say through the rest of October, highly likely, and then we see if when they have a bit of a rough patch, if Brad Treliving will decide to have somebody more experienced in that position and have Minton, playing at a lower level.
How do we decide when we do live streams? When we have time?
It really is a matter of can we find time, and like today I was kind of back and forth on it, but tomorrow is not workable. The next day is ridiculous crazy with games. So yeah, today was the day.
We always try and get them in on holidays, and it's right before the season. So
yep. So happy Thanksgiving, Canadians. And again, Americans, I will not ruin Thanksgiving. I will not tell you what happens this year in Thanksgiving, but it's amazing.
Huge year for Barzal. He has the talent to do it, but the Isles really need him to be a point per game guy.
The other thing with Barzal, I'd like to see him shoot the puck a little bit more. He's got a good shot. He could be a decent goal scorer in the NHL. He's never going to be a 50 goal guy, but he could hit 30. And then what happens is if you get a better reputation of taking those shots, it gives you more room for those shots, and they don't think you're just going to pass all the time. It can be tough for guys who are known as just passers. When you don't get the respect for your shot, you're not going to get those crisp passes as easily.
As I've been inspired to increase my growing jersey collection from watching someone's videos, I scored
a Steve Dangle issue.
I scored a legit Edmonton Oilers gear Coho jersey. Those are hard to find.
Those are.
So happy to add to the collection.
That's good. But Steve Dangle's been getting people into buying hockey jerseys for a long time. And really, I have not been as much of a proponent. He's got so many Leafs jerseys. It's really out of control.
He does have a lot of Leafs jerseys.
See, it's out of control. I think he has almost as many as I do. It's up there. I've got like 20-something Leafs jerseys. And then he just hates the Leafs. I have more than 20 of theirs. Why would I have all of their... Why? Even as a collector, I couldn't if I really hated them.
Hi, Shannon and Yvonne. Have you guys seen the Vegas Golden Knights championship ring?
It's ridiculous.
I did see that today. If not, it's up on their YouTube site. It's ridiculous.
Does it open up for that ice surface where it shows all the goals, where the goals were scored from the clinchers?
I was just
it's insane. The ring looks like it has to be about 6 feet tall.
It does look like it's just big.
It is crazy. So well done. In a league where we always see ridiculous championship rings, it feels like Vegas really made it more ridiculous.
Vegased it.
They really did.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you both for being a part of my life. Aw.
Thank you.
Grateful for you every day. Also, do you believe in the Canucks depth scoring this year?
The Canucks are tricky. I still don't see them as a playoff team. I think that there's some reason to be optimistic for this season. I don't know if the depth scoring is going to be good enough. I'm really happy Phil DiGiuseppe made the team. I love his work ethic, but if they count on him for points, that could be a bit of a disappointment. I'm sad that Podkolzin hasn't taken that next step. Höglander had a good start to camp and then fell off. I have my concerns still with Vancouver.
Yeah, the cap is a pendant. Okay, that's what it kind of looked like. I didn't look at it very well though, but that's what it looked like to me. That it wasn't just a ring.
Right. Yeah, it gets just insane.
How do you think the Blue Jackets revamped blue line will perform this season? Where does Blankenberg slot in? Goodness.
He's probably going to be on the third pairing. Werenski's got to be 100% healthy, and he's got to be back to being the Zach Werenski from a few years ago. If he can do that, and if Provorov and Severson don't have any kind of learning curve, if preseason was enough, training camp was enough, Columbus is going to do a better job of keeping the puck out of their net. The biggest question mark I have defensively is Elvis. Elvis has to bounce back from back-to-back poor showings.
Have either of you ever realized you could swap names and they would still fit? Yes, we have realized that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'd be Ivan, she'd be Shannon.
I do frequently, when you go places and they ask your name, I will say Shannon before I say Yvonne, because Shannon, they'll mostly spell it right.
A lot of the time, if somebody's calling,
But
Somebody's calling on my phone. I'm like, I don't answer the phone.
yeah.
And she answers. She's Shannon. No problem.
This Shannon sure is.
Yeah.
So, yep, absolutely works. It's really
But
nice
it
having
does mean, and I've
a
told this
spouse
story
with a gender
before.
neutral name. It works
When I
really
was
well.
a kid in school, obviously Shannon's considered to be a girl's name. So if I was not in school that day because I was sick and the school would call, I could just say, "Yep, she's sick. She's not here." Because I would get, "Well, hello, Mr. Skanes. We're wondering about your daughter Shannon." "Oh yeah, she's sick. She should be back tomorrow, but she's not feeling well today." And oh well, that's you just let her know that she just gets. Oh, I'll let her know. And I realized in that moment, I could just keep skipping school, and as long as I'm here for this phone call, we're good. So sometimes, as much as people want to make fun of the girl name that the guy has, it can be of benefit. Like my wife just pretending to be me, and I don't have to
It
answer
works
the phone.
really well. And I can sign things for him.
Yep.
Yep. Are you Shannon? Sure am. Detroit should be better this year, especially on the power play. The additions of Ghost, DeBrincat, and Sprong.
Yes. The one thing with those three is the defensive aspect. So as long as with adding the offense, they're able to have the defense to cover for some of them, especially with Goss to spare 5-on-5, it can be an adventure. So as long as they're able to counter that, they should be better.
Would you be interested in a blue yoke starter Edmonton jersey from 96-97?
I mean, I would probably have it. Not necessarily with that brand name, but I would probably have it. One thing with getting jerseys like that is it is nice to compare companies. So I've done videos on that before. So if somebody sends me a jersey, it's not like I'm going to say no to said jersey, and I might be able to find a way to work it into a video as well.
I need to turn the volume up on this.
You do. Here, let me just double check something.
That's obnoxious.
It can be. You were getting all kinds of notifications earlier. It was really hard to talk to you. What? It's true.
It'd be you.
It was not me.
Shannon thinks it's really funny to go through our messages and do those little reactions to everything.
No, I don't.
And so then my phone just bing, 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 and it's him.
I don't think that's the thing. I'm just going through these messages now, and I don't think.
You're not. Don't start.
Don't start what? I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going through all this.
I can feel my phone buzzing.
You're welcome.
Such a boy. He needs a hobby or something.
I have a hobby. You just saw it.
Pestering me? Your hobby is pestering me? I mean, that's fitting. But seriously?
Yeah. So?
You should take up like knitting or something. I could teach you. Be great.
I'm going to take up knitting.
Make yourself hockey ponchos.
And I'll just get me a bunch of that plastic, the gimp lace, and I'll make friendship bracelets. Make friendship bracelets for you and the kids and
there you go.
subscribers. They have giveaways for friendship bracelets.
THG friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
Does Buffalo's goaltending make you as nervous as it does us? We can see it going either way.
It's a lot of pressure on Levi. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2011. So it's a lot of pressure for a guy who's a rookie. And he's a very gifted goaltender, but it is a lot of pressure. Especially with people are kind of expecting a lot out of Buffalo this year after the season they had last year. And of course, if Levi falters, can Comrie carry the mantle? Can Luukkonen be the guy who carries the mantle? I understand that concern.
He says he hasn't seen you with the blue yoke jersey.
I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have it. I think I have all the other ones.
I thought you did.
Unless there's one from a couple seasons that I didn't get. Anyways, yeah.
Who will Patrick Kane sign with?
If you look at the cap situations, Buffalo makes the most sense. Buffalo's been seen as a front runner. Both LeBron, Friedman, and others have said Buffalo is the front runner right now. So yeah, I think Buffalo is probably going to be the team that gets them. I mean, other teams are going to be in on them, obviously, but Buffalo seems like the one that makes the most sense.
Oh, how to get Stains out of a 4 years young Team Canada jersey, Missy Vaughn. It depends on a couple things. If it's oil, good luck. But you can use Dawn dish soap. If straight Dawn, like the actual brand Dawn, if just by itself Dawn doesn't work, you can mix it with baking soda and use Dawn and baking soda and try and wash that out. If it's on white fabric and it's not a grease stain, you make a paste with bleach and baking soda, like the thickness of toothpaste. Make sure you have something between the layers of the jersey. So you'd put, like, I usually do just a piece of cardboard or something. Put it in between there, put it on the stain, and then let it dry, and then you can throw it in the washer like you normally would. I've had that work for almost all stains except for grease stains. Grease stains are really, really hard to get out unless it's brand new.
If this is sorry for my phone, but if that's the Oilers jersey you're talking about, which has the little oil worker guy on the shoulder as well, I do not have that one. That white jersey I don't have. So if that's the one you're talking about, you're right. I do not have that jersey. So the collection is mocking me as we speak, because I have the ones that came after where they got rid of that blue shoulder yoke. I'm never a fan of getting rid of a shoulder yoke. It's almost never a good thing.
The Atlantic, Toronto 1, Florida 2, Ottawa 3, Buffalo 4, Boston 5th.
Boston, there's some excitement in Boston fans right now in our little area of the NHL internet, in that Poitras seems to be ahead of schedule. He was a 2022 draft pick, and he looks like a veteran. At least he did through the preseason. And Beecher has emerged as a fourth-line center, which I'm glad, because Johnny Beecher was a late first-round pick a few years ago. And so I've kind of followed his career a little bit, and I've looked at scouting reports and thought, he could be a good NHLer if he gets there. So that helps the center depth. If they can't keep up, then Boston could very well fall out, because the Atlantic is going to be tough.
Do you do anything special to get yourself ready before a new NHL season starts?
He
does a
lot. Make sure I have new, and whatever needs to be refreshed, whether it's boards, whether it's magnets, whatever it is. And I feel like, I need to change things up a little bit. And then making sure I've got enough markers, making sure I've got enough of everything. So if I can't leave the house for whatever reason, well, we're good. I've got everything I need here.
He does. He got like 2 big boxes of the dry erase markers. He goes through the boards to see if there are any that are kind of dented or scratched, because that happens. And then he retapes them. I don't have one right by me.
So I got 2 of these 144 packs, which has all the colors of the rainbow, but obviously some of these colors I wouldn't be able to use because you wouldn't be able to read them on the board. But in general, these are good. Shuttle art. They don't erase as easily as some of the other ones, but still, for the price I got them for, they were worth it.
And he does the tape lines on the board, so he has different ones depending on how many games. So he has some that are made for the preview review, whatever you're going to call them.
I've got the one preview board there, and then another preview board made up as well for when it's a quieter night. I don't want to have to use the 4x2 board for when there's like 3 games on. That just seems kind of silly to me to have the huge board for that. So that'll be for when there's 10 or more games. So starting tomorrow, the previews are back.
Is Cooley the best number 2 for the Calder right now?
Well, Fantilli's right there too. So Cooley, Fantilli, and then you've got to look at Nyes in Toronto and ask yourself, how many points could he get if he's playing on a top line, if he gets that opportunity? I think this is going to be a really, really strong Calder class. I think this is going to be one of the best recruits we've seen in a while.
Could Arizona move to Nebraska or Wisconsin?
Not that I've heard. I haven't heard anything of any kind of push for an NHL team from either state. And so what you have to have a billionaire owner, you have to have an NHL ready arena or a plan to build an NHL ready arena. And you need to have the corporate money. So the NHL looks at how many big sponsors you might be able to have in any given city. And there's a lot that goes into it. And then for expansion or for relocation, it's going to be pricey. Relocation cost is not going to be free, and expansion is going to be about $1 billion this time around.
Omaha, Nebraska could be an interesting destination for an NHL team.
Yep. You just have to find a billionaire owner that agrees with that and has a vision for how it's going to work.
What do you think of the Vegas Cup ring?
I think it's ridiculous over the top. It is Vegas. Anything out of Vegas has to be ridiculous and over the top. So they knew the assignment and they nailed it. And it is an interesting ring that they've got for themselves.
How many cats do you have? I'm always trying to count.
Okay, so we got Shadow down here. I got Maple up here. Maple's good. When I put Maple up here and tell her to leave Bear alone, she generally does. Her sister does not.
Her sister's a spaz.
Azrael is not in the room currently. Bear's, well, here's Bear. She heard her name. And then Pixel doesn't come in here very often.
Pixel's
if she does,
my
Bear runs her
kitty
off.
Shadow.
Bear runs her off, don't you? You run.
So
Pixel
we have 5
you?
cats. We do have a little Instagram account for all the animals. It's THG cats.
Yeah,
But
but
there's
it's got
a
the
lot of pictures
rabbits
of
on there
rabbits
too.
on there too.
And now she's staring because the cat took her spot. You weren't in your spot, sweetie.
He will be doing the first power ranking tonight. The cup ring for Vegas is definitely Vegas.
Yeah.
From my response to Sportinez post. Happy Thanksgiving. Darlene Shafley Hellebuck Day. Let Powers be next at 9.125 million by 8.
Ugh.
That
Yeah.
was nice, Bear.
Power right in my face.
Really nice.
Right in my face. Oh, and I love you too. Yeah, Powers is gonna get paid, and he's gonna be worth every penny, I think. Excellent number 1 overall draft pick in Owen Power.
What do you predict for a new Rangers alternate jersey?
New Rangers alt, I'd be very surprised if it's not something Liberty related. The Liberty jerseys sell so well. I'd be very surprised if they don't do something with Lady Liberty.
Shannon's preseason has been very good. Can't wait for THG's regular season.
Wow.
Look like he's in good shape for the season.
I did enough running the other night. I definitely did my best to be in shape for that. I mean, hey, I outlasted a lot of the younger kids. That's always the thing.
You run every day.
Yeah, if I can outlast the ones that are half my age, I'm doing all right. Hey, kitty.
Okay, so there's a bunch of people asking about the Pride tape.
You know what? The whole Pride tape thing I think is weird. So if a player wants to use a different tape for the pregame warm-up or practice, it doesn't hurt anything. I don't see a problem with it. I would love to know what the thinking is behind it from the National Hockey League's perspective. I've been part of a very animated discussion on it on Twitter. People just don't realize they're arguing with me. But, you know, I mean, if the NHL wants to ban it, the NHL can. And I just find it weird that we've gone from a scenario where, you know, if a player didn't want to wear a warm-up jersey last year, they didn't have to. They didn't have to. There was no repercussions for not doing so. And now this year we've gotten into where nobody can use any of the tape or any of it. So, yeah, I'd be interested to know the thinking. But again, I don't talk about it news of the day because I know where that's going to go.
So we only have so much patience for the comment section. That's why.
I know where that's going to go. And the thing about it is this. People are very firmly entrenched in their opinions on the matter on one side and on the other. And it is one of the many debates on the internet that having that debate will just lead to frustration for people arguing for or against, and nobody gets moved one way or the other. The biggest thing with the internet now is people generally don't get swayed by debate. They're dug in, and so they're dug in.
Okay. There's a lot of keep politics and personal things out of sports. They're people. Not everything is politics just because you don't agree.
No.
But life is politics. Politics have always been in sports.
They
are individuals. Athletes and fans, they're all individuals. So you can't separate them and make them these inhuman people without
Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is revered now, but Muhammad Ali back in the 60s, not quite as revered. And when he went from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, that wasn't widely well received either. And he was very outspoken on political matters quite often, and he was so years later. Everybody, oh, we love Muhammad Ali. What a really nice guy. Yeah, really nice guy, and really, really hated at certain points in his career as well.
Are the animals in your studio when you are not?
Yes. The rabbits normally aren't as often. We try to get them upstairs at night.
They have to go back upstairs to the rabbit area in the morning for overnight.
Cinnabon may very well have a way of sneaking down here. We haven't figured out yet.
I don't know that she can.
Because some days I come in here and she's already here before we've opened up the upstairs.
So our rabbits are free roam, so they can go anywhere in our house if they wanted to. We just they don't really want they don't really want to, except for Cinnabon and Licorice. They like to come in here. At night, we have like a fence at the top of the stairs, so they can't come downstairs. So they stay out of here. The cats, they're cats. They do whatever they want.
If I shut the door to my room, they will cry at the door to my room until I open it. So
they really follow us everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're not in here, there's usually not a cat in here. Sometimes Maple.
She sleeps in here.
Sometimes
she
Maple,
she likes sleeping here.
She's very much a cat.
That's really her spot. She's the most cat of the cats.
She really is. What's the most boring finals you have watched?
1995 Detroit, New Jersey.
Hi, Shannon and Yvonne. You're talking about cats and rabbits, and it appears the chat is arguing about Pride tape.
Yeah. Welcome.
I'm not continuing with it because then the conversation just kind of goes.
Like I said, everybody's just entrenched in their side, and nothing happens. We will never have a day where somebody says, you know what, I was really kind of messed up, and then I went on the internet and it just fixed everything, and I feel great because I had a really good heated debate with people on the internet, and now I feel good. And you know what, they said things that spoke to me, and I changed my opinion based on the things they said to me. First, they called me the S word. Then they told me to go F myself. And then they told me I was an effing idiot and that I needed to stick my head in. And you know, the thing is, after it really spoke to me, and I felt like, you know what, they're right. And when I realized I couldn't actually insert my head where they told me to, I just went for a walk and I felt better.
Most people know our stance.
Yeah.
We don't need to continue arguing it.
No.
So there's nothing to argue. So there you go. No. Thoughts on Devin Levi as a fantasy goalie? Took him as my number 2 goalie.
Levi, it really is going to be interesting to see for Levi whether or not he can do the full schedule. Like, when a player comes into the NHL, there's that wall that players hit, and I think goalies can hit that too, where it is a really long, arduous schedule in the National Hockey League, unlike anything else in sport, or not in sports, in the hockey world. Like, the NHL schedule is really tough. AHL's tough too, but for Levi, he's still, learning his way as a pro. He's going to have some iffy times this season in all likelihood. So he probably won't play more. He shouldn't play more than about 50 games. If he plays more than that could be a problem.
How did Jones clear waivers? I'm very happily surprised.
So last year, Martin Jones had a very good win-loss record. His save percentage was a nightmare. And the second half of the season, he was not as effective as he was in the first half of the season. My guess is GMs did not see him as an upgrade over what they had in net as a starter and backup. The only one that really surprises me is Tampa. Tampa must have more faith in Johansson and Tompkins or Alnefelt than I thought they did.
Your pick for New Jersey for Cup winner. I don't know about that. The Avs and the Leafs are looking better to me.
Really for me, picking New Jersey is more of a, you know what, this would be fun. And so for me, it's like they have an exciting young team. They have all the parts you need in order to win. It's been 20 years. And so I feel like, you know what, I'm going to pick a team that others may not be. I'm going to go with New Jersey, and I believe they can win a Stanley Cup. Colorado, my concern for Colorado is I don't know if Johansson is going to be able to withstand the punishment of a full 82-game schedule. And if he does get hurt or if he needs nights off, I don't know that they have the depth at center to keep up.
What music do you listen to when you're on your treadmill?
There's two things. Either I'm listening to metal, I'm really, really heavy with Ghost, Slipknot, Rammstein, or I'm listening to pop music, which is very heavy with Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa. There's some Charlie XCX in there. Music people would not think that I would listen to if they met me. On both levels.
Whatever. If people know you very well, they know that you listen to silly music like that.
It's not silly.
Well, I don't mean it. Okay. It's
silly.
Very different music.
I've listened to the Barbie soundtrack while I'm on there too. Because the Barbie movie, there's some good danceable stuff in there. It's just about,
it's about
finding that beat.
The right pace.
It's about having that beat that keeps you at the right pace.
There you go.
Okay, come here. Just for a bit.
See, and I don't listen to music on the treadmill. I watch shows because then it gives me a set amount of time I need to be on the treadmill. If I just listen to music, I'd probably stop the treadmill.
For me, the TV shows I find remind me how tired I am, unless I throw on a movie I have not watched before. Yeah. So like watching The Office, I've tried that, but it doesn't work that well now because I know it's going to be 2.5 episodes. And now I'm back up to season 6 where there's episodes I want to skip.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Why are you glaring, sweetie?
Dallas over the Devils in the Cup. How don't you smudge rating?
I've been writing on whiteboards.
Oh, right, because
for years.
I wasn't sure what he meant.
Many, many years. And so I've learned how not to smudge because having been left-handed my whole life, I used to smudge when I was handwriting too. So I had to learn how to hold my hand so that I would not have to worry about my hand scraping across the words and smudging things up. So it's learned.
Did we really go see the Barbie movie? We went a few times.
3 times.
Yeah. So we had to go take
we went with Adelaide.
Your mom.
We went with my mom.
And then we took the boys.
And then we took the boys.
Yeah. Yep. We went and watched a few times.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I've got my I Am Knuff t-shirt. I like to wear my I Am Knuff t-shirt. And that's part of the reason I started throwing on a bunch of Hawaiian shirts. I'm like, let's get some color in this. This is kind of fun. I need some brightly colored shirts.
There you go. And now as a family, we look like the really, really colorful family.
Well, when I was in Disney, it was easy to find me.
Did Shannon ever watch the show Deadwood? It's a favorite of mine.
I didn't. There was always recommendations to watch Deadwood, but at the time I was into a bunch of other shows, and I never really got around to Deadwood. So I actually didn't watch that. I think that was around the same time that The Flash started, and I was like, this show is going to be good. I'm going to enjoy The Flash. I'm going to watch this. It's going to be great. If you've watched the videos on The Entertainment Guy, you know it didn't end up being great.
The black kitty is Shadow. This little kitty right here, this is Maple.
It's Maple.
Can you see any other kitties?
And Bear was the one I was holding earlier.
Oh, that's a bun. Can you see her? There is a bun right there on the little cat tree. Baby. That's Cinnabon. If you can see her little head, because she's one level up.
Do you want to come up? She's having a little lay down. So's Licorice.
Have you ever done a Kurt Brackenbury video?
Nope. Brackenbury was before my time though too. When I started watching hockey, it was around the end of Brackenbury's career.
Have you ever watched Trailer Park Boys? My personal favorite. McKinnon was in one of the animated episodes.
Trailer Park Boys is one of my favorite shows. It went on too long. I found that towards the end of it, I was like, okay, this show probably should have stopped sooner, but they were still making money. The ratings were still good for it, so they kept it going. There's really some great episodes from that show. Fantastic. Although my favorite show right now is Shoresy, but that's kind of a known thing.
Do they fight over the top of the tree? Yes. How don't you need multiple cat trees? There's 3 in this room.
3. Okay, we have 3 in this room.
In this room. We've got one out in the room right outside.
There's one in Adelaide's room.
And then we've got, Adelaide has one in her room.
That's 5.
And then in our living room.
And then the bunnies have 3.
4. Because 2 of them are those little short ones.
Okay, so the bunnies have 4.
And then Gabriel has one in his room as well.
Yeah.
We have cat trees all over our house.
Yeah, there's enough cat trees. There's no reason that you guys
but
need
they
to
all
fight over
that one.
None. There's no reason.
So right now of the 3 trees, that one's empty. Bear is on the one you can't see. and then maple and
Maple's
cinnamon
here.
are on that one.
Shadow will get back up here when
Getting
he gets
his little
tired of trying to
basket.
get me to pick him up again.
Have you owned dogs in the past?
Absolutely. When I was growing up, we always had one cat
We
and
did
one
too.
dog. We don't have a dog now because that would be probably pretty mean to the rabbits.
And way
And
too
mean to the
much for
dog.
me.
You add a dog to this mix, it would just light everything on fire. It would not work. Plus, dogs need a lot of time and a lot of attention, and I don't think it would be fair. So we
And
don't
we have
a dog.
a special needs kiddo that doesn't do quite
Can be
as
tough
well
with
as
animals.
dogs because sometimes he doesn't understand that you can't just do whatever to a dog. Whereas the cats, he'll just randomly pick them up, but you can't do that to a dog. So wouldn't be fair to the dog.
Oh, he'd get bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Very thankful for your channel. Oh, there.
Thank you.
And hope your Thanksgiving was great. Excited for another fantastic hockey season. Let's go Canes. No Shoresy spoilers yet. Still hasn't dropped in the States.
Oh, I won't spoil anything for you. I will say this.
I thought they got it at the same
Nope,
time.
they get it later this
Letterkenny
month.
now.
I'm going to say this. This is not a spoiler. This season does not pick up where the last season left off. You do not see the playoffs, which I think was a missed opportunity. Don't see the playoffs. Again, I'm not spoiling it, but it starts a year later.
Somebody's asking about our post office box. We have our address. It's in the description of every video.
I haven't updated the post office box yet.
It's okay. I have forwarding for a year.
Okay.
So we did get a new Canadian post office box because they moved ours, but the old address still
They
works.
lost ours.
They did. Our box actually disappeared. But we have a Canadian address and then we have an American one. We don't check our American one very often at all.
Do you know what I figured out? Okay, so who have I always said that I don't want to see when we go to Las Vegas? The one show I'm like, I will not go to that show.
Chris Angel.
That's what happened to our box.
Chris Angel did?
Chris Angel took it. He made it disappear because he knows I wouldn't go see a show in Vegas.
In Abbotsford?
He wasn't. He did it from Vegas. He has special telekinetic powers.
I don't know that he has that much.
Have you watched his show? He made a bloody elephant disappear. The most ridiculous thing I've ever watched on TV, where I swore at the TV and just changed the channel. Like, no, you didn't. The elephant was here, and now we drop it, and it's gone. And look, it's a concrete floor. Yeah, you didn't do it. Nope, you can't. No. So it's Chris Angel took our post office box.
My dad has the Blackhawks finishing third in the division. I said, if they do, I will buy him a Bedard jersey. He said, I'm a hater.
I don't have the Hawks third. Now, if the Hawks drop down to the AHL, sure. But at an NHL, no. The Hawks, it's going to be a tough year. They have a good first line, a competent first line, couple of decent defensemen, and I think Mrazek's underrated, but yeah, I don't see them as a top 3 team. And I don't think they see themselves that way either. I think they're fine with that.
How do you lose a P.O. box? Right?
That's why I think Chris Angel, because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, are you sure? Yeah, we've had the same post office box for years.
So our post office box was for a
here.
store. That store got closed down and the post office got moved to another store. In the movement between one store and the other, it's gone. And they were just sending everything back.
And because neither was an actual Canada Post, the Canada Post in London Drug isn't an actual Canada Post.
No.
Who knew? And so it was nobody's fault. And everybody told me to call somebody else.
Canada Post said, go talk to London Drugs. And London Drugs like, go talk to Canada Post.
And everybody, well, I can't do anything. Okay, so we haven't had our mail for a month. Who can actually help me? But the ladies at the post office now, they all know who I am. And they're all really nice. Because even with our post office box missing for a month, I was still nice to them, even though I was really, really irritated.
That way you don't get a Karen video showing up on the internet.
Well,
I told her, just say, do you know who I am? Try pulling one of those. Try pulling one of those.
And they don't care. That's not
I'm going to rain down so much hate. Be so many hockey fans here in jerseys in 10 minutes. There wouldn't be.
Okay. Imagine the power of being nice to people. I know it helps. Be nice to them. They gave me free mail forwarding for a year. Whereas
I've never been rude. No matter how long I've been waiting in line, the longer I wait in a lineup, the more friendly I am to the person at the front of the line, because I know everybody between me and that top front of the line likely complained about how long the wait was.
Yeah.
And I've done customer facing work before, and I know how tough that can be, both talking on the phone and in person in a retail setting. It sucks. So I'm as nice to retail people as possible.
Working there, it's really hard to stay being friendly to everybody else when somebody was just yelling at you.
Because there's been times where I go into a restaurant and they'll say, okay, it's going to be an extra 10 minutes for that. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And they're like, really? Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
How long did it take before you realized the postal box wasn't in existence anymore? Pretty quick, but they moved stores. They moved, like, it was in a little shop, and then London Drug opened, and so they moved our box to the London Drug, so right next to it, and it wasn't there.
And so because that
tower of boxes,
because that number
gone.
Did not exist, they just started sending mail back from it. Oh, that's not a real number.
We don't have that number. You don't need that. What?
Well, why do you think? Anyways.
You guys knew our number was missing, and we weren't the only one. There were 3 mailboxes that went missing.
Yep.
Everyone needs to work in customer service, wants to understand.
Absolutely. I agree.
Most exciting team to watch this season?
Last year it was Buffalo. It could be Edmonton this year. The addition of Connor Brown could be a lot of fun to watch. Now that Winnipeg's got the Scheifele contract out of the way, they could be a lot of fun to watch too. Most fun to watch this season, I'm going to go with New Jersey. I know that sounds easy, but New Jersey has so many fast, young players, and now Holtz is in their lineup. I hope he stays, and I hope he plays as well as he was projected to when they drafted him where they did. I think New Jersey is going to be tremendously fun. So when the Devils play the Sabres, watch those games.
Panthers are always fun.
The Panthers are very good in transition. Panthers, if you want to see transition hockey at its best, Florida and Carolina are generally the ones that I'm most impressed with their transition game.
Have you guys ever been to Winnipeg?
Nope.
We haven't done a lot of traveling.
I've known people from Winnipeg.
I know several from Winnipeg.
I know there's a hockey team in Winnipeg. And there was a hockey team in Winnipeg before, and then mean old Gary Bettman came in, twirling his mustache, and he stole it in the middle of the night. He just stole it. Nobody knew what was going to happen, and Bettman just came in and stole it.
Because he hates Canada.
And when they went to the arena the next day, it was filled with coyotes, and they had no idea why. And then their hockey team was called the Phoenix Coyotes, and they were so mad.
Oh, Shannon.
That's what happened.
Right. There's hockey in Canada.
So recently, we finally stopped racing polar bears. The polar bear races were fun, but eventually we figured out, too many people getting mauled.
Out loud at the arena was full of coyotes. Why does Carolina score so little under Brind'Amour's system?
Brind'Amour, it feels like with his system, and I get where he's coming from. So he wants to make sure the guys are defensively responsible at all times with the puck. So don't put the puck into an area of high danger for you, where if that puck's turned over, it's transitioned the other way. But it definitely hampers them once you get into the playoffs. They're playing against a team that's just as talented as they are and scores a little bit more. It feels like that system means they're not taking some of the shots that they should. They're not able to exploit weaknesses in the opposing goalies as well. I hope they loosen up the reins a little bit, especially on Sebastian Aho. He is so creative. Svechnikov's so creative. Just loosen up the reins on those guys, and I think their goal scoring will improve in the playoffs.
Could Saskatoon support an NHL team?
It's tough with that. It's a small population. I think Saskatoon could absolutely work for an American Hockey League team. I think Saskatchewan would work. You put one in Saskatoon and one in Regina for the AHL. But from the National Hockey League side of things, you have to have 15,000 plus in your arena. You have to have, the billionaire owner. You have to have the big private boxes they get all the money off of. Those boxes are ridiculously expensive. And for Saskatoon, I just don't think that would work.
That's an area too that's really hard for people to drive there. So since there's not the population right around it, people would have to drive there, and a lot of the time of year that the hockey season is in is really hard to drive long distances like that. So you could end up in situations where you just don't have the fans there. Who would block a two team in GTA, Buffalo or Toronto?
Probably both. I think Toronto would probably have to get some kind of financial something out of it, some kind of amount of money from another team in Toronto. It can work. I do think a second team in Toronto would make a ton of money, but I don't see Buffalo or the Maple Leafs going for it.
Does Vegas repeat this season?
They can. They've got most of their players left from last year's Stanley Cup winner. I don't know that they necessarily do. Repeating is tough, but they do have all of the players needed to do so.
How do you feel about Rangers' defense this season with Laviolette, a new coaching staff, Pekka and Muse? Laviolette demands a lot in practice. They're different from other coaches we had.
Laviolette's a good coach. I know he's coming off of a stay that wasn't as long as he wanted it to be his last time out. I do think that their defense is good. I think Keandre Miller's fantastic. I've been a Ryan Lindgren fan for some time. And I think Fox is one of the best all-around defensemen in the National Hockey League. Trouba, blistering hits and an overall good game. I think the Rangers are good. And I know Dom on the Athletic, he has them number 3 in his list of teams for the Stanley Cup this year. So he does see them as a contender. Do you want me to put you down, baby?
Okay. Shout out to the NHL for snubbing Leo Carlsson because Connor Bedard and Fantilli were the first and second overall picks. Oh, wait.
Leo Carlsson wasn't seen as a huge reach at 3, or at 2, I should say, and Fantilli going 3rd. But definitely less hype around Carlsson. And it feels like with Fantilli, you're probably going to get more highlight reel moments than you might from Carlsson. Doesn't make him a better player, but probably a little bit more marketable.
What vacuum do you guys use, and do you recommend it? Asking as mine currently does not cut it. Okay, so my vacuum is an expensive vacuum, but it works really, really, really well, especially if you're somebody with allergies. If you guys have been watching for very long, you know I have really, really bad allergies. Animals, yeah. So I have a rainbow vacuum. It uses water, and you just empty out the water, and then you can leave it on, and it cleans your air as well. So when we have fire season, I have that vacuum running all day long, even though it's really loud. But it makes it so I can breathe. I can feel the air be cleaner. Yeah. So I use my rainbow. Before that, I had a Bissell Pet Fur, and it was okay, but it didn't work nearly as well. The rainbow works really, really well. Yeah. Have you decided to go to the Ducks game on January 31st?
We're thinking about it. It's something we'll get into more over the next month. So I have to see how the channel's numbers look, how things are, because obviously if we're going to plan a trip to Anaheim, we have to get that in motion well before we go, so that we're not trying to pay for a trip all at once. We're paying it in installments and all that. So I would say at this point, it's still a maybe. We'll be there for July or January 31st, but we want to be. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
We would like to go.
Do you steam or iron your jerseys? Rarely. I do iron them every once in a while, but
if the logo's all messed up,
we hang them though,
iron it,
and we don't put them in the dryer. So there's usually not a need to. But every once in a while when we get one shipped, if somebody folded the logo, which they shouldn't be, then I iron them. But it's rare.
Bun.
It's very rare.
That was Cinnabon I had, for anybody who didn't know.
How tall are yous?
I'm 8'6". She's 8'4". We met at a Giants convention, which oddly enough wasn't in New York or San Francisco. Odd. But yeah, we met there, and it was great. She was dressed as Chewbacca. I was dressed as Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, and we had great
It could
fun.
be an Ewok. We're not tall.
Tallest Ewok on planet Earth.
Our teenagers tower over us. I'm 5'2". Shannon's about 5'4". Our teenagers are both 6 foot. So somehow,
I mean, if anybody watching
magic.
meetup videos, you can see I'm not very tall, but
you're not much.
I keep up.
You're not much different height than most of them. There are a few really tall guys, but
yeah,
for the most part. You think Blue Jackets have a shot at playoffs? I can't see it, but the fan base seems optimistic.
Oh, that's a tough call. The East is so difficult. I know Columbus should be better than last year. Last year was an absolute nightmare. They need Elvis to bounce back or Tarasov to solidify that goaltending position and keep the puck out of the net. And good health from Laine would go a long way too. It is possible. I don't give them great odds, but it is possible.
Yes, rainbow vacuums used to be sold door to door. They're different than the old ones. So we had a rainbow when I was growing up. Again, allergies. They're a lot better than they used to be. They're a lot easier to use and easier to clean, but they work really, really well. But they are pricey.
I had a shop vac.
That is a pricey vacuum.
Yeah, we had the shop vac.
I like being able to breathe. So it also works as an air filter.
And then every now and then my mom would rent the
washers, carpet washers?
Yeah. You know, when they used to have that at the front of the store and rent it out. Yeah, I'm that old. Sorry. Used to rent carpet cleaners.
Yes, Shannon's doing a power ranking tonight.
That's the plan. Yeah. Do the power rankings, throw a smoke bomb and run away. And not look at the internet or any comments until the morning. That's the plan.
That's what he tries to do.
It's my first attempt. It's my first chance to really let people know who I hate this year, and then I'll find out from people who I'm hating on this year. So that's usually what I know. You hate on. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Thank you. The power of milk. Is that what made us tall? We had milk cows growing up, so I had plenty of milk.
I'm lactose intolerant at this point in my life, so I hope there isn't a power with milk because my body doesn't like it very much.
We're out of luck. You're not growing anymore.
I might.
My grandma used to always ask if I had grown anymore, and I'm not.
Just because nobody on planet Earth has ever had a growth spurt in their 50s doesn't mean it can't happen.
Did Shannon have any funny childhood nicknames?
The name Shannon means no. There really weren't nicknames because there aren't really like shortening ways of doing it. And anytime somebody tried to like make it sound like a girl's name, I would mock them into the ground. Be like, yeah, it's already a girl's name, so good job there, sport. Like it just, yeah, I never had a nickname. The closest I had to a nickname was in middle school when I played floor hockey, and my nickname was Shadow because I played defense, and I would just pick the best player on the opposing team, and my challenge was always he is not allowed to score a goal. I will bleed, I will drop, I will block every single shot. He is not getting a goal today. And usually I was successful, but I was also usually limping and bloodied as I would leave the gymnasium. So I don't play like that anymore.
Any favorite restaurants or fast food spots in Anaheim?
Ooh, Anaheim. We haven't gone to very many.
I've gone to several in Disneyland. Does that count? I like that one on the pier in California Adventure that always has a really long line.
The one, the Steel Factory.
And the Mint Julep place in Disneyland.
We did the burger place. We did the burger place there at the Steelworks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. That's the one that Solani's like a part owner of.
Yeah, they called fries poutine.
Oh, yeah, it's not poutine, people. Get it together.
They didn't even have gravy.
She took a picture to send her friend here at home. Like, this is what they call poutine down here.
How cute.
Her friend was like, that's not poutine.
Gosh, Cheesecake Factory. Oh, man.
Yeah, we went to Cheesecake Factory.
I know. I remember.
It was pricey.
And we were there forever.
Well, yeah, we had a big group.
And it was so cold
to get in. And then we were sat outside.
Forever. It was so cold.
Yeah.
Disneyland food is fantastic.
Disneyland food is good.
Yeah.
You have to know
food is
which
great.
places to go and when. And if you've got that figured out, it's not bad. And
Order
it was
it on the app.
Yeah. I was able to order mobile, and then I'm here, and the food was there right away. It was good. I really have no complaint about. And I have a sensitive stomach. None of it ever bothered my stomach.
I know they actually have food there I can eat. That's not all of the time.
Their chicken strips are fantastic, but their burgers are good too. So, and she enjoyed the pizza. So, she's picky with pizza.
Where?
The Pizza Planet.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't bad. The kids really like Pizza Planet. Happy Thanksgiving. Looking forward to a great season.
Me too.
Thanks.
I think this is going to be a good year. It's going to be a lot of fun because there are so many teams we can argue should be in the playoffs this year.
Best scented candle fragrance. I really like the wintry ones that are like spices. The spice candles.
I like when. So before I met Yvonne, if I needed to de-stinkify my place, I used to like to use scents that smelled like food to drive the kids nuts. So they'd come in. Are you baking cinnamon rolls? No, it's just the candle. Damn it. And then they'd, I wanted cinnamon buns. Well, go make cinnamon buns then.
Go right ahead.
Go. I'm not going to stop you. What's stopping you? I don't know. Kids went to their rooms. All right. Well,
I generally prefer all the spice ones.
No, I love that disappointment.
Fresh
bread.
Fresh
Fresh bread's a good smell too.
Why would you do that? That's mean.
Because I didn't care. I knew there wasn't any fresh bread.
Oh, that'd be mean.
It's great.
Man.
Yeah, stuff that smells like food. And then you trick your brain into thinking you ate that food. So you're good. And then it's a weight loss thing too. You just make yourself think you ate.
Oh, I like sandalwood and evergreen. I do like sandalwood. Evergreen, it really depends. Sometimes those can be good, and then sometimes they're, I don't know, they smell odd. Like they smell like tea tree, which I don't mind tea tree, but that's not.
It can be really overpowering.
Yeah, it can be really strong.
Yeah.
Hockey Eve. Oh, it is Hockey Eve. Happy Hockey Eve. Also Thanksgiving.
Regular season starts tomorrow.
Do you like King's Hawaiian bread, the rolls? I don't know what King's Hawaiian bread is, but I've had Hawaiian bread.
I've had Hawaiian bread and
really
I liked it. There was a bakery when I was growing up that had it was long bread and it had like sausage in the middle. It had onions in it and it had pineapple as well. And even though it had onions, I was still good with it. It tasted delicious. It had cheese on it. It was really, really good. And it was like yay long and it had like sausage in the middle. It was just really, really good. And we'd take it home and nuke it for like 30 seconds and it was just delicious. And I haven't seen it since then. I don't know if they had some weird recipe or
never heard
what it was, but yeah.
But Hawaiian bread is tasty. I've never made that. Don't they have the King's Hawaiian restaurant in Anaheim?
Maybe we haven't
We've
been
to
that one.
Disneyland.
We generally are in Disneyland
and the Ducks
or going
Arena,
to Honda Center.
That's it.
So it's So if we go down there in January, early February, we'll be going to Disneyland
and the Honda arena. That's our knowledge.
And then we'll have a meetup while we're down there, probably near one or the other.
Yeah. Thanks for all your tireless work to keep us informed.
No problem.
Thoughts on Darlene's contract as a Buffalo fan? I think it will age well.
Yes. Seeing the cap hits now, and I think that fans, I think with the flat cap, we kind of look at the salary cap hit now and go, that's really high. But the cap, as it's going up, your prime players are going to get more and more expensive. By the end of Darlene's contract, that should be seen as a bargain.
Do you like Asian food?
I'm big on Chinese food. I'm picky with Chinese food, but you give me some chicken or pork fried rice. Almond chicken is fantastic. The chicken balls with the pineapple sauce, that pineapple dipping sauce is delicious. There are a couple other items.
I love Indian food.
Yes.
Luckily, we live where we do that. we have all of the Indian food here.
Even the pizza places generally are
Yes.
Indian run, and there's like Indian
Yes.
versions of pizza.
Which are fantastic.
So they have like butter chicken pizza.
Which is great. Yeah, I really like Indian food. It's great. I like the Indian food markets. They're awesome.
And their desserts.
I like, yeah, Chinese food is good. Japanese food, I'm not as big on.
I'm pickier with that. Yeah.
I like Korean food too. That's really good. There's a bunch, but I really like Indian food.
Korean ribs are really popular now.
Yeah. THG, do you watch college football at all?
I used to every Saturday I would watch all the college football, and then on Sunday I'd watch all the National Football League football, and so I'd get really emotionally invested in the college first and then the NFL. But I haven't been able to since the channel blew up, because my Saturdays are spoken for generally by hockey, so I haven't been able to follow as much. I will always cheer for the Fighting Irish, and I have a soft spot for the Washington Huskies as well.
Butter chicken pizza is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Doesn't Vancouver have world-class sushi?
Yes.
Vancouver is known for sushi.
Yeah. I'm not a sushi
neither
person.
of us are really sushi people. I
Yeah.
can't really even eat rice, so that kind of takes that out. Our kids really like sushi. Our kids really like sushi.
There was a girl once who tried. She took me to a sushi place that was across the street from my old apartment, and the entire menu, I was like, no. She was like, well, you can try this, and I'm like, what's that made from? Oh,
you do
no.
tempura. Tempura is great.
She was just, well, you can have that. I'm like, nah.
But
So basically, I had soda and I watched her eat.
I've totally done that at restaurants.
So
you know, I've done that at restaurants.
That was one of the weirdest dinner or lunch dates I think she ever had, and it wasn't really a date either. So
why would you go to a sushi place though? Or
well, it
did
was
you
right
just
across
not
the street
say-
from
okay.
my place,
It's like because that.
and
there's
she
no-
was convinced she could find something I would want to eat. She was like, "Oh, I know I can find something." I'm like, "I don't know that you can, but you can try."
Yes, Vancouver is known for the sushi.
Yeah.
California rolls, pretty positive, are from Vancouver. We have a lot of sushi. Even we're not in Vancouver, we're an hour outside, and we have a ton of sushi here. And in those little Facebook groups, people are always talking about which sushi places are best. And yep, we have a lot of sushi here.
We're just the odd ones out that we don't like sushi.
How do you feel about Stankoven not cracking the Stars roster right out of camp?
Stankoven, honestly, because he doesn't need waivers, I'm not overly worried. I'm not overly worried about the opening night rosters from the perspective that a guy like Stankoven is still going to end up being one of the first call-ups when an injury takes place. He's a talented forward. He needs ice time. If Dallas doesn't feel like they're going to be able to give him the right amount of ice time, I have no problem with his NHL debut being delayed a little bit. He's not going to be out of the league very much longer.
Thanksgiving in Canada is about the harvest. It's not about the colonizers at all. That's how the Americans do Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving is just about the harvest.
Yeah, at the end of the summer.
Yeah, it doesn't have that.
And our harvest would be earlier than theirs,
which is why it's
north.
at the beginning of October.
Yeah, we're further
but
north.
It's just for the harvest.
Yeah.
That's it. There's not all of the history stuff tied to it like it is with the American version of the holiday.
It's not
the
as
American
big a
version
deal
of the
up here.
holiday is very different.
Yeah,
Ours
it's
is
not
only food.
It's not as big a deal up here.
That's all.
It's just you get together for lunch or dinner, and that's
Yep.
it.
Is there a restaurant near Rogers Arena that you eat at before games?
No,
We don't eat before games.
no, I
We have
don't.
to
I don't eat.
drive.
I don't eat before games, and if we're gonna eat on the way home, it's usually just fast food on the way home, and try not to get too far out of the drive path. We don't want to spend too much time coming home because it's always
True.
like late coming home.
Really late, yeah. Timbits are great. Yes.
They can be.
What TV show have you two recently been loving? Bake Off is back.
Bake Off's back.
I love Bake Off.
We've started watching, and I know it's already done, but this past summer's Temptation Island.
Those shows are
which
so
is
ridiculous.
so over the top and ridiculous. So it's like, do people who apply for that know how toxic they are, or
They
do
have
they not?
to. Like, why would they be on the show? They want people ridiculous.
It's just so toxic. And yeah, so what? And I mean, obviously, Shorzy. I'm all caught up on Shorzy because, of course, I am. I'm watching season 1 for the 4th time now because, of course, I am.
The Costco pre-game spot. A lot of people hang out there. Costco has really good poutine.
We park at Costco.
You do, yeah. It's safer. I don't have to worry about my van
And then
being broken
I
too.
use the washroom in Costco before going into the arena because
Way
the
shorter
arena
lines.
the arena can be a bit of a wait in line. So yeah.
Why does Shannon harbor a Don Cherry-esque hatred of my Carolina Hurricanes?
I don't hate the Hurricanes. I even had the Bunch of Jerks t-shirt. I had the Bunch of Jerks t-shirt. I don't think I have it now. I don't think I have it anymore. But I had it. I thought that was great that they rallied around that. And I've never complained about the salute thing they do after the games.
Oh yeah,
which everybody was so mad about, and this is ruining hockey, and now nobody cares.
Right.
It's just it's 4 years later now, nobody cares, which is what always happens. Something new comes in, people are like, this is gonna ruin the game. Just keep it going. Nobody will care years later. They just won't. And so yeah, now it's not a big deal.
How surprised were you that the Jets signed their 2 big stars today?
I was surprised from the perspective that I knew from what media was reporting that they wanted to sign them and keep them. But yeah, they kept this under wraps really, really well. It's just all like initially when I saw that on Twitter, I double checked to make sure it was actually from the Jets account. My first thought was, this is somebody making this up on Thanksgiving to troll Jets fans with a fake account. Mean. But it's really easy to make a fake account now.
My first thought was, is this actually legit? Yeah.
So I had to double check and make sure from okay, yeah, they actually signed him. And then I told her, I said,
it's awesome.
I have to go make a video. So I'll see you later.
I didn't know about Scheifele, but I figured they were going to be signing Hellebuck. I didn't think it would be for that long.
It's not like you can upgrade from
they
Hellebuck.
Would be right. They would have to find somebody better. And they already had him playing with him in the preseason games. They're not going to have somebody play, especially a goalie, have them play in their preseason games to just trade them. That doesn't even make sense. They would need to have their goalie that they were going to be using. So I figured they would be, but
no, I'm happy. I think that's going to be good. And again, people complain about how the contract's going to be bad 5 years down the road. It doesn't matter. You're Kevin Cheveldayoff. You may not still be there 5 years down the road, and it might be harder for you to keep your job if you lose these players and if you don't get the right package back. So makes more sense to hold on to them.
Tuna is like steak, Yvonne. There are different cuts of different fattiness, and the good fresh stuff just melts in your mouth. But see, just like steak, I also don't want it raw.
Nope.
I do like tuna. I like it cooked though. I like
what
cooked
about canned
food.
Tuna?
That's cooked.
No, it's not.
When you can it, it cooks.
No.
Yes.
No. No. I worked on a fishing boat for like...
You did not.
I did too.
You in a boat? No. No. Whatever. He's making crap up again. Start talking about ducks or meat and stuff. Yes.
I was going to tell you about an octopus attack on the boat and how I thwarted it. But now I won't tell you how I thwarted it.
I'm sure you would have a long story about an octopus. Okay. When and where will Kane sign?
If you want to get rid of an octopus, just go get the stick. Go get the stick. And they can't resist. They have 8 arms. For Kane, I again... And I know it seems like the standard answer, but Buffalo is the one that makes the most sense for Kane. And once he feels like he's 100%, he'll sign. He's just not 100% yet.
Canadian or American bacon? What's the difference?
Bacon's basically the same. There's different cuts.
Are there
There's different cuts of bacon, but it's still
bacon from the States looks just like our bacon.
And see, and then people get mad at me because I'm not really a huge...
are you guys talking about Canadian bacon? We don't have that here. It's not Canadian. That's an American thing.
See, and then
we don't have it.
I'm not a huge fan of bacon, which people get mad at me over.
We call that ham.
So I'm not
Is that what you're talking about?
Bacon fan.
Yeah.
There's too much fat in bacon
There's
for me.
Canadian bacon, not Canadian. It's American. We don't have it here.
Hey, fine.
No, yeah, we have P-mill bacon, which is also not like American's Canadian bacon. The American Canadian bacon is just ham.
Good girl. What a good rabbit.
No.
Sorry, I had to pet the rabbit. She's so sweet.
See, in our Hawaiian pizza, which is also Canadian, doesn't have the little circles of ham. It has little cubes of ham. But
I've seen it with the circles.
I have before, but they're not the same as the American ones. They're those little ones, little circle hams. But that's really where it's usually cubes.
Yeah.
But that circle ham you guys have in the States, we don't have it. I've never seen anything like that. Nope.
My black rabbit seems more settled now, but earlier something upset him and he was thumping at me.
Back bacon is great, though. Yes, agreed. Do you have a pick on who will win the President's Trophy this year?
President's Trophy? The Oilers are going to be in the mix, I think, for that. I think there's a good chance they end up finishing first. Dallas, Colorado are both going to be in the mix from the Central. And, I mean, New Jersey rocketed up the standings last year. The Atlantic team that's probably going to lead it is going to be Toronto. So we'll see who ends up winning that President's Trophy, but I think it's pretty wide open.
Heard the octopus scene was cut out of Goonies due to copyright infringement from Shannon's story.
That wouldn't surprise me. You know, Goonies.
No, don't ruin Goonies. That's a great movie. Sean
Astin's character was based on me. It's based on me. I
Sean
went through
Astin's
that whole
great.
adventure. I did that.
What's your guess on Connor Bedard's goals, assists, and points?
Goals, I'll say 34. 34 goals, 52 assists for 86 points. My over-under for him has been 86 points. I'll stick to that.
Never say die.
That was a phrase in the 80s. We used to say that all the time. If you watch 80s movies, it's always never say die and never surrender. It's in so many things because we said it all. It was in every 80s conversation. You'd work never surrender into any conversation on anything because every 80s movie had never surrender.
Have we debated yet whether pineapple belongs on pizza?
It does. That's it. Done.
Whatever you want to go on pizza goes on pizza.
Winner.
That's
not Skittles. I'll draw the line at Skittles.
Pineapple on pizza is our daughter's favorite topping.
If you put Skittles on pizza, you're a monster.
Your people can eat their food
unless
however they want.
Unless it's a dessert pizza. Dessert pizza is a thing. But if it's a regular normal people pizza, then Skittles
normal people pizza. I had A&W in the States yesterday. It blew my mind. So good and different.
It's completely different.
It's like a different restaurant, isn't it? Like the only thing the same is root beer. Other than that, you would have no idea it's the same restaurant.
Yeah, just imagine if you walked in the American one and go, I want a Papa Burger or Grandpa Burger.
Would like a tea.
Can I get a couple of buddies? What is he asking? I think he's asking us to give him people. Like it's just, it's quite different.
Pineapple with Canadian bacon. We do ham and pineapple too.
Yep.
We call it ham and pineapple or Hawaiian, which is pizza. Ham and pineapple.
It's delicious.
Yeah, that's our daughter's favorite.
Ham and pineapple was the one that my mom always got when I was a kid. And then I realized I really liked pepperoni. So I started getting pepperoni pizzas. So then we would get the 2-for-1. That was when pizza places actually did 2 for the price of 1.
I know.
And eventually that stopped.
When I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
My roommate and I would get the 2 medium, 3 toppings for $15.
Yep. I used to be able to get
years.
There was a pizza place not too far from where I had my apartment and they would give me a small pepperoni pizza for $5. And
There you go.
and it was a special they had, but since I was a regular customer, they just give me the special price. So yeah, I was a repeat customer, and I send everybody there. I'd be like, yeah, go there. It's great.
Ice cream pizza with Skittles. That would be so fun.
That's a dessert pizza that's acceptable.
That would be fun. Dessert pizzas are fun. I did know the Hawaiian pizza was Canadian.
Yep.
Didn't I mention that?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, I think we're responsible for the scourge of pineapple on pizza.
There you go.
I think we're the ones that said this seems like
Yeah.
fun. Wait till we start putting like strawberries on it.
Now it's $15 for one, if you're lucky.
It is pricey.
If it's on sale and you have a coupon, then you
Now
can get
with
a pizza.
the
3
funny thing
toppings,
is,
though.
the funny thing is with pizza, Little Caesars is probably my favorite pizza for both flavor and cost. And that's different. It used to be Pizza Hut was my favorite for both, but now it's not Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut's gross.
It is greasy.
Pizza Hut's
Pizza
so
Hut,
gross.
you often can take a cloth and just kind of
So
dab
gross.
that to get the grease off of it, and then throw the cloth in a fire.
We have a lot of local pizza places that are really good. We have a lot of.
Like Panago's okay.
It's all right.
Used to be Panagopolis, now it's Panago because people don't have time for those extra syllables.
Papa John's is terrible. Agreed.
Domino's is the most disappointing experience I've ever had.
Oh, the crust is so chewy.
Domino's. The last time I had
Yeah.
Domino's, I had it with a friend of mine. We both bit into our piece. We looked at each other, and I was like, "Is this as gross as I think it is?" And he's like, "This is disgusting." Didn't finish it. Just that was it. One bite. That was it.
How do you think Canucks fans will treat Bo Horvat when the Islanders play in Vancouver this season?
They're gonna boo him. They'll have some kind of a video package. The fans will cheer the video package. I think they'll appreciate what Bo did for the franchise, and then they're gonna boo him every time he touches the puck.
We don't have Pizza, Boston Pizza, or Pizza 73 in the States. Missing out then.
Pizza 73 is in Alberta. I don't think we have that out here either.
No, we have Pizza. We have a
Pizza
ton
Pizza.
of Boston
I'm not a
pizzas.
fan of Pizza. I had it just the one time, but everything we ordered from Pizza was burnt. And so I was disappointed.
I don't think I've ever had Pizza.
I
Really,
ordered it
before
that one time.
Did we? Oh, I vaguely
Everything
remember
was
that.
burnt.
Before you, I mostly ate at the local one of the Indian pizza places.
I remember.
I
that was
never
near our old
ordered
place.
from whatever.
The one near the townhouse.
Yeah, they were good. Their butter chicken pizza was fantastic.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't gone back there.
I know they opened up another one. There's
See?
2 of them in Abbotsford
See,
now.
now you're going to be sad because you haven't had it, and it's going to be playing with your brain now.
Mhm.
You did that to
other
yourself.
Pizza's awful. I don't remember. Yeah. We got Pizza 73 out here. They have Pizza in BC.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, Pizza's cheap chain store. That's probably why I don't ever go there. I don't generally like the pizza
And yet, Little
chains.
Caesars is good.
Yeah, they're not bad. It's
Generally,
not
Little
greasy.
Caesars is okay.
Do we have pizza bagels in Canada? Like at the grocery store in the freezer section?
Yeah, we have pizza bagels.
I think they're gross, but
I think the worst part of living where we live is there's no gelato anywhere near here.
right?
And I got a taste
up
for
with that?
gelato. Thanks, Vegas, for me getting a taste for gelato and going, wow, because I don't like, my body
This is
doesn't
fun.
like dairy.
I don't get sick.
And so I ate gelato and I'm like, this is delicious. And I feel great. This sucks because I can't get it. And then I love the big pretzels. Yeah, we don't have a pretzel place around here either.
How in the world do we not have any pretzel places here in Abbotsford?
So now I'm going to have
and
to
then
open
there's none anywhere near us.
restaurant.
We have to go to Vancouver.
I have to open a restaurant
What's
that
up with
sells the big pretzels and the gelato just for me, which is not a good marketing plan.
All of the malls near us, no pretzel places. What's up with that?
So I'm going to start a petition. We're going to get a pretzel place going here because it just feels like it's a missed opportunity. Because when I was in California and Vegas, I got a taste for the big pretzels and for the gelato. And no, not allowed to have either. Especially that strawberry one. Oh my god.
Oh, career. Somebody's asking for a career video on.
Sean Beliveau.
Yes.
I've been looking at Beliveau. I know I've done a lot of the guys from the Montreal dynasties.
Oh,
Beliveau, lots.
Hot pockets.
Hot pockets.
So gross. Hot Pockets are disgusting.
but gave us some really
Oh my
good Jim
gosh.
Gaffigan jokes.
So gross. Hot Pockets.
Hot
Bleh.
Pockets.
They're worse than Pop Tarts, which are. bleh.
Pop-Tarts are great.
Bleh.
She's wrong on Pop-Tarts.
No, neither are good. They're both gross.
Love Pop-Tarts.
Nope. Do you like tacos? Who doesn't like tacos? Kind
Well,
of
when I was a
monster
kid, I
doesn't
didn't
eat
think
food?
I did, but then I started
What?
eating them more often. I'm like, you know what? They're pretty good. So, yeah, tacos are fun.
Tacos are great. If somebody doesn't like tacos, that might be a red flag. You might want to kind of keep an eye on them.
Sure. I'm not going to argue with that.
Swiss Chalet, living in Detroit. Hard
Yes,
to get.
Wetzel's Pretzel.
Those are great.
Those are
They-
fantastic.
You know, I don't really like Swiss Chalet. See, you guys are just hearing all of the things I don't like. I don't understand why Swiss Chalet
Isn't
is so
Wetzel's
popular.
Pretzels the one in Disney, downtown Disney, that we were in and we had to wait forever?
Yes.
And it was delicious. It was worth every moment of waiting. I could wait hours for that. It was so good. Where I was like, that flavor sounds delicious. That flavor sounds... all of these flavors sound magical. So...
Corn cob crust pizza from Little Caesars?
I haven't tried
What?
that.
I've never heard of. I'm trying to picture this. What?
Well, it's
Like an actual corn cob?
no, it wouldn't be an actual corn cob.
Right.
Because
that
people
doesn't
don't
make any
generally
sense.
eat corn cobs.
I can't picture this. Are you going to any games this year?
I'm going to 4 Vancouver games. I'm hoping to get to 8 Abbotsford games if it works, both with not having very many NHL games and then Yvonne and I both being free to be able to do that, which is where it gets tricky. But there are
Especially with
8
three
Abbotsford
children
games I
that
can
all
go
have
to.
stuff.
There are 8 Abbotsford games I can go to. We have season tickets. It's just fingers crossed I can actually go to them.
Price of groceries is insane. Oh my gosh. I don't
It
know how Americans are doing it either, because I've gone to the grocery store in the States a couple of times. Groceries in the States are way more, well, it's almost the same price if you don't look at the exchange.
So if you look at back in the late 80s, early
Crazy
90s, there were
expensive.
entire communities in the US that were built on Canadian cross-border shopping. They're all ghost towns now because
Those
Canadians
strip malls are
generally
empty. It's weird.
Canadians generally are not crossing the border to buy groceries. It does not save money anymore.
No.
It's just, it used to be it saved money, and like Bellis Fair Mall, that was built on Canadians in Bellingham. That was where everybody went. I remember all my friends like, oh yeah, we're
down
going
in
Bellis Fair.
Burlington.
And there was a dance club down in Bellingham as well, and that was the place to go. And now I never hear anybody going down because it's too expensive.
I've
Too
tried
much money.
twice and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I really feel for Americans is our groceries are really expensive right now.
Yes.
Really, I keep trying to drill it into my kids. Stop being wasteful. This is expensive.
Yeah, it is really pricey.
But it's a lot
Aye.
more expensive in the States. That's really, really hard.
Indeed.
Will you guys be attending games in other parts of Canada this year?
Not that I know of. Yeah, traveling in Canada, is more expensive than traveling in the States, and it's often more time consuming, and there's a lot of logistics that get in the way of it as well.
No, Canadians still seem to come to Minnesota for tax-free clothing. Also, Washington is an expensive state. I don't think people here go down to the States for, like, you used to go down to the States for shoes, like to get your runners.
Yes,
but
I did.
And
did that a couple
electronics.
times.
Yeah. But from the people that I'm talking to, so not professional survey or anything, people that I know aren't going to going down to the States anymore. Just it's too expensive. You don't end up saving money, especially if you have to pay duty on anything. So, yeah. Have you ever stopped at Knott's Berry Farm? Nope. Have you ever had their chicken? Nope.
Nope. That was quick.
Is it? Well, that's down. I think that's by Disneyland-ish, isn't it?
Yes.
We've only been to Disneyland. We've not been to many places in the States.
Although we did look around LA a little bit when we went to the Rammstein concerts last year.
Pass. I'm good.
Like we walked along, we did Muscle
Yes.
Beach and
Santa Monica
Boulevard.
That was nice walking along there when it was just us just walking on the beach. That was cool, but pass on.
I got a
well.
sunburn that like colored my leg. It's still dark.
permanent tan. As a diehard Hawks fan, it would be great if you did a player deep cut like Steve Smith or Keith Kearney.
I've thought about Smith. Steve Smith, interesting career too, because of course, the own goal that he was guilty of in '86 that contributed to the Oilers getting knocked out in the second round by Calgary. That one definitely would work.
Do you like dogs too, or just cats? Oh, we love dogs. We just can't have a dog.
Yeah, like when we're walking into Disney and they've got the drug and whatever sniffing dogs they've got there, we always talk to them and you can't pet them. And it just sucks.
You're such a good worker,
good
dog.
puppy. Who's
good
a good
job.
pup.
Working so hard.
Yeah. And the dogs at the airport. We always talk
Yes.
to the dogs at the airport.
We love dogs. We
Yeah.
just can't. We can't. It wouldn't work in our house.
Nope.
No butter tarts in Detroit. That's just sadness. Favorite fast food burger? For me, it'd probably be A&W.
A&W had a
Triple O's white
A&W had a specialty like limited time Mama Burger where they had a spicy dill sauce with it.
So
oh
good.
my gosh, that spicy dill sauce. That was so darn good.
That was really good.
That was so fantastic. So that'd be like my favorite item ever on a fast food menu. And then it was gone. It was like I discovered it and then it was just over. So, it's one of those things.
we only found it like a week before they finished it because we don't.
It's like if I get
much.
a rule of law was that if I got into a band they were about to break up, if I really liked a movie it was going to bomb. There are certain things that if I really like a food it means it's limited edition or they're going to cancel it.
Right.
Same thing with soda. Really like soda means it's going away.
A bunch of people saying Whataburger. We had a Whataburger. It closed though.
Yeah.
But it
was okay.
It was really pricey though.
It was okay. It's
That
like
was
I
a more
like Fat
expensive
Burger,
one.
but Fat Burger is really pricey too.
Yeah. What about Five Guys?
Five Guys is okay.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We went to the
Donaire's,
one coming up.
I love Donaire.
She absolutely loves
Donaire is
Donaire.
great. Yes, I like
My hand
Donaire's.
dirty kitty. I know. I love you
Hockey
too,
guy
Shadow.
with that exquisite taste.
Good boy, Shadow. Yes, you're a good kitty.
White Castle sliders. Those weren't too bad.
Not bad.
For the price.
Yeah, for the price they're good. We had
Like
those
you
in
can't
Vegas.
compare it to like a good burger, but
Yeah, we
I
had
mean,
those in Vegas on
yeah,
the strip
really cheap
where you're
burger.
looking for not expensive because everything on the strip tends to be kind of expensive.
It's true. If going to a Vegas NHL game in Las Vegas, is there a cheaper way to buy tickets than online, i.e. hotel? I haven't seen
a hotel deal on it.
I've never seen anything through any of them, even though the arena's right there. I haven't ever seen anything, no discounts
No.
at all. So
No. I mean, you can like there's travel packages you could probably get, but I don't know about one that has the hotel
I've
involved
never
with
seen
T-Mobile.
anything.
I haven't seen that either.
I can't. Oliver
Shillington.
Okay, is missing from the Flames roster again.
Well, he wasn't healthy. So Shillington wasn't healthy. And it feels like there's like some mystery about Shillington. He missed all of last season too. I like Shillington. If he can get it together and get in the roster and play a regular shift, it's going to make a difference to the defense. But yeah, at this point, it's kind of a mystery.
Come to New York. So much food. New York would be really
We've
fun.
talked about New York. We've talked about New York for the fact that there are some areas in New York that are very tourist friendly because we'd be tourists.
Yeah, similar to
So,
Vegas.
New York definitely has that going for
in
it.
an area.
No,
yeah.
Stop.
Was I a hockey fan before I met Shannon? I was. Before I met Shannon, some of our first dates were him coming to my kids' hockey while I was being scorekeeper.
True.
I was scorekeeper for
Yep.
my kids' hockey for several years. When I was little, for my birthday is in March, I would go to hockey games with my grandma. my grandma was super into hockey, and she was very much one of those grandmothers that, well, if you're Canadian, you have to watch hockey. If you're Canadian, you have to read Anne of Green Gables. So I was given Anne of Green Gables very young because you have to do those things. But yeah. And then I'm trying to think, was Malachi in Special Olympics before I met you?
No,
After?
I don't think so.
No, because I had him in the kids hockey.
Yep.
And that was challenging. But no, I had all my kiddos in hockey before I met Shannon. And
Okay, good boy.
yeah, now I only have
Good
one
kitty.
in hockey. So that's how things work. Don't go to New York ever, but I think it'd be really cool.
It would be fun to
And
go to New York.
I'd want to see if I could go to Broadway show or something, because they have a lot of shows like Vegas does, and that would be awesome. Yes. Would Shannon still have dated you if you weren't into hockey? Of course.
Oh, I've spent time with people that aren't hockey fans. I don't know if I could do this with somebody who's not a hockey fan, but at the time I met her, this wasn't what I was doing for work. So yeah, it really wouldn't have made a difference. It might have negatively impacted the channel, actually, dating somebody who was not a hockey fan. Because there would have been a lot of that conversation.
They could have been trouble. Yeah, because even when we very first dated, every day, hold on, I got to do my videos. And so those first
romantic
few
whirlwind
weeks,
you're looking for
months,
a romantic whirlwind.
I would be, so he would film sitting on his little Chesterfield, love seat in his room. I was usually sitting on the floor just behind the camera, so that I wasn't on the camera for a very long time.
Yep.
But I was just sitting there off on the side waiting for him to finish his videos so that we could go do stuff. So I think for some
that
people,
would have been tough for somebody who's not a hockey fan.
Well, I think I could have done it even not liking hockey, but I had to have patience with you for the things that you were into. How bad will the Wild be? Will they ever get out the first round and ever do a meetup in Minnesota?
Love to go to Minnesota. As for the Wild, they have a lot of the pieces you need to succeed. I hope they do. I really hope Minnesota gets a run going, because they haven't been to the conference finals since 2003. But it sort of feels like it's the same story every year. And as optimistic as I've wanted to be with them over the last couple of years, playoffs roll around and they're just it's not there. So hopefully this year that changes. Eventually you would think the law of averages would state that it should, but as a Canuck fan, the law of averages doesn't always work out. So
if somebody is not healthy mentally, psychologically, that's a bigger issue than hockey.
Yep.
There's a lot bigger issues when you're looking at somebody that is a partner than if you have the same hobbies or enjoy the same pastimes.
Like some of her hobbies just make me sick to my stomach. I just feel it's just yuck. But I respect her as a person. I'm okay with it. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, messed up, but it's her deal. It's not my deal.
Oh my gosh.
So as far as I know, it's all legal. I don't know. I stay out of it. It's best to stay out of it.
He's so much trouble. Oh my gosh.
You're fine.
What is the most random hockey fact Shannon knows? There's so many random hockey facts.
Let's see, random hockey facts.
Super random hockey.
Neil Belland was my favorite defenseman at one point in time. Neil Belland had not played enough games to get onto a hockey card, so I made my own hockey card. I also made my own hockey card of Rick Hines, who was the Canucks' backup goaltender for a short period in between stints in St. Louis. So I had to make my own little hockey card of Rick Hines and of Neil Belland. And I didn't draw their faces or anything, so that's not a thing, but I would draw put their name on it, the team name, and color it a little bit. Yeah, that kind of thing. That's, yeah.
Make sure you put out milk and cookies for Bettman tonight. How about pecan pie and apple cider? Because it's Thanksgiving, so
I don't have pecan cookies.
It's upstairs.
Nobody brought it to me.
Go get it yourself. You have feet.
Wow. Service industry is really and truly suffering these days. You're getting a lousy tip.
I was going to get a tip.
Well,
Man,
that just got diminished with that kind of attitude. Hi, Bun. How are you? She nudged the back of my foot.
oh, Shannon's wearing a Sharks.
Los Tiburones, and I'm wearing this because they're doing Los Tiburones night. I think next
that'd
week.
be soon. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it next week. So
The Sharks
I
do
hope to
fun
get more.
warm up.
I have so many of the Tiburones because
They
I
do
think it's fun.
Yeah.
I want to see them actually have one of these as a third. So one of these designs is a third jersey. So I think that'd
Yeah,
be great.
there's some really fun ones. You have a couple. You have one that's really fun.
Yeah.
Looks like a sugar skull shark.
Yep.
That one's really fun.
Yeah, I think I have 4 of them.
Favorite beer?
No,
Pass.
not a fan of beer. The only beer I ever liked was the dark beer way back when. It was the only time I ever went, this isn't too bad. And then they canceled it right away because I liked it. So they knew it wasn't any good. So that's basically it.
What's the filling in pecan pie?
Custard, chocolate, vanilla, and then a little swirl of strawberries in the middle. It's delicious. And then there's like a pecan. See, because it's pecan and not pecans, you can only have one pecan on top of the pie. Because it's one pecan. Otherwise, it'd be pecans pie.
Pecan pie is sugar, eggs, vanilla, butter.
Eggs Benedict?
Pecans. Trying to think. Right?
Ooh, you should put a Scotch egg on top of that.
Oh my
That'd be
gosh.
great.
What? Oh, sausage doesn't belong in pie, weirdo. Okay. But no, pecan pie is actually really, really easy. As pies go, it's a really easy one because you just kind of mix.
Well, you made it.
Mix up the stuff in your bowl and you pour it in your pie crust and then you put the pecans on, make it all look pretty, and then you bake it. The end.
So if you want to know the easy
one.
stuff to bake, just ask her what she's been baking lately. And
I made the cutest rolls for dinner, though. They look like little pumpkins. They're adorable. I was excited about my little rolls. They turned out great.
Rolls can't be adorable. But,
whatever.
I let her think that.
Whatever.
It's all fine. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. It's good.
Who was your first favorite team and how has your taste in teams changed or not changed over time? Canucks.
Canucks and the Minnesota North Stars. So the Canucks were always on TV. So, the Canucks were sort of like, you kind of have to be a Canucks fan in the 80s in this area. But I love the Minnesota North Stars too. And so I became a huge North Stars fan, translated to the Dallas Stars as well. My fandom did move with them. And then Boston came along later. But the Minnesota North Stars, that run to the Stanley Cup final in 81, that was so much fun. The 81 playoffs were a lot of fun to watch for me.
Scotch eggs or meat, pocket meat. That's a gross way to say it. I don't like eggs, though. So.
No, she really doesn't.
Pies are amazing. Agreed.
Like when they make that ravioli that you cut into and the raw egg comes out of it.
That's so wrong. Why?
They always make it because that's like the
it's
technical.
Supposed to be all tricky.
It's all technical. And it's like, nah, no thanks. Can you cook this? Thanks. And then make it not egg.
No. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a different filling in this? Which rookie besides Bedard are you most excited to watch this season?
So as a Boston fan, I'm excited to see what Poitras can do because now that you don't have Bergeron, you don't have Krejci, there's definitely room there for him to move up quickly. If he shows the kind of skill and effort that he showed in the preseason, he can move up the lineup. He absolutely could. I'm excited to see what Fantilli does in Columbus as well. And if Stankoven gets called up by Dallas, I'll be excited for him too.
I have an illness where I know every Blackhawk player and random players' numbers around the NHL from the 90s and 2000s. Are you a player's number guy?
I don't really get into the number side of it so much. But random players, yeah, the random players part. Like I was talking at that meetup about Robert Nordmark and just seeing all those people that had no idea who I was talking about. And I'm like, seriously.
Shannon remembers all sorts of random
Well, no, Nordmark wasn't as much a random as it
No,
was.
you remember
It
a
was
lot of random.
PTSD for Canuck fans. It was
Shannon has a
just-
ridiculous memory, though.
There are certain players that I remember, and I think, man, I don't know how I stayed a fan. I don't know how I kept it together.
Who does Bedard remind you of most? Hughes?
Bedard is just so gifted in so many parts of the game. I don't know that his game necessarily reminds me of any one player. But of course, wearing a Hawks jersey, Patrick Kane will come to mind with some of his passing and his skating ability. I think he's going to carve out his own identity, like Crosby has, Ovechkin has, McDavid has. I think Bedard is going to carve out a similar legacy for himself.
I have always liked pie more than I like cake, but I don't like frosting. So.
Yeah, I much prefer pie over cake.
But I've always liked pie. When I was working, they would do little birthday cakes for people when it was their birthday, and I would always ask, "Can I have a pie instead?" That'd be better.
Yeah, I find myself pulling the frosting off cake a lot of the time.
How does anyone like a Big Turk? Who doesn't like Big Turk? What's up with that?
Big Turks are great.
Right?
It's great. Somebody's asking they're my favorite hockey memory. My favorite hockey memory probably be something from when I was a kid. The 94 run by Vancouver, though I wasn't a kid then, but 94 run by Vancouver was so just it because the Canucks were down in that first round against Calgary, and it felt like, well, this is going to lose to Calgary again. And then they came back and won, and it was 3 games in a row in overtime. That was just phenomenal. And if they'd lost in the second round that year against Dallas, honestly, I would have been happy. And then, favorite memory, Dallas winning in 99 was pretty good. Again, I wasn't a kid when that happened, though.
Shannon doesn't do puck doku.
Nope.
He is doing power rankings tonight. He has to, when we finish this, he'll have to make the video and then it'll upload.
Yes.
Because I've seen people ask a few times, when's that? The cats. Okay, we've got Maple. Shadow's in his little, turn so I can see. Turn is in the little basket. Bear is in the tree next to that. I don't think Azrael, I think Azrael's still on our bed, and then Pixel was laying in a box in the room outside of here because she likes to lay in boxes.
So there's Bear. She's sleeping on the other cat tree at the top. I didn't mean to do that. What the? Hope that wasn't an important notification because I just got rid of it. You ever do that?
Yes. Do you watch CFL? Do you have a favorite team?
I'm not as caught up on CFL as I was, say, 20, 30 years ago. An Ottawa team, I will always root for an Ottawa team, but I do not follow the CFL like I used to.
Somebody asking about the puck board. Yes, the puck board will be back.
Yep, that's the plan. That means I'm going to have to move this cat tree, which is going to make the cats kind of angry.
Shannon was sorting pucks earlier.
Yep.
Thoughts on Bolt season opener versus Preds without Andre?
It's going to be an interesting early test. They're on the road. That may take some of the pressure off Johansson. But it is going to be entertaining. That's the first game. Because it's a triple header tomorrow, I will be reviewing the 3 games as their own video. So it won't be just one recap of all 3. I'll be recapping each game as the night goes on.
Pie is better than cake.
Yep.
Agreed.
Anyways, we should get going because we're up to 7:45.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want me to do the power rankings before you're asleep
have
already,
a decent amount of time.
and then
I
we
can't
can hang out
go
together.
to sleep early because I'm going to be up late tomorrow night. No.
You're going to be up late last night.
That too.
So your brain's already
so
asleep.
No going to bed early. So
Okay.
I'm awake.
All right. Well, you're in luck. I'm usually up late anyways. So,
You're always up late.
So
It's
anyways,
not usually.
and now it's regular season, so I'm going to be up late anyways. But thanks, guys, for coming out. We will do this again. It gets a little tricky once the regular season started, but we will keep up the live streams. Thank you guys for all your support. If anybody hasn't already hit the like button, go ahead. It's fine. I'll wait. and subscribe. So if you have the time to subscribe, that'd be great. And if you don't, come back later and do that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I would like to thank my wife for being.
I knew you were gonna do something stupid.
Well, she's married to the entertainment guy, but she plays the role with me. So it's nice of her to do that. But thanks, guys, for coming out. And we will do this again soon.
And
Take care.
happy Thanksgiving.
And who wins the cup? My pick is New Jersey. We'll see how that ages. May age poorly. We'll find out. So take care.